We're live.
This is Father Bonaventure.
This is Father Patrick.
And welcome to Godsplaining. Thanks for all those who
Boatsplaining.
listen.
Welcome to
Boatsplaining.
Boatsplaining.
Thanks for all those who listen to the podcast, subscribe and stuff. We're all appreciative of that sort of thing. Check out other things, do stuff. And here we are. And Father Patrick, you are on location. Look at that.
In the words of one of this world's greatest singer-songwriters, I'm on a boat.
You're on a boat. I remember that. Yeah, look at that. That is good news. So maybe, because mine's not interesting. I'm just where I'm always, I'm at the third floor cell. I'm in my cell, which is funny because we talk about cell numbers. But for a Dominican, like the House of Studies, that means your room number.
Yeah, do you even know what that is? What yours actually is, though?
So I'm in my DHS cell, but you are on a lake, on a boat. I think it's a lake. So explain yourself and where you are, so that the crowds can get a little feel. So they can, as a Jesuit would do, compose a composition of place.
That's right, composition of place.
Prepare for the
I'm here on a beautiful lake in northern Indiana. This is where my parents live year round, and it's a fabulous place to visit in the summertime, I got to be honest. So I realized that we were having a live tonight, and I prayed that the storm would pass. We got some ominous looking clouds, but the storm did get enough out of the way that we could do this out here tonight. So I got all my essential lake gear here. I got my sunglasses.
Yeah, I see that.
The sun is setting, but for me, it's never too late to put on some sunscreens. I got some SPF 30 there, and I got my lake essential giant water thing, which everyone just walks around with up here all the time.
Oh, funny.
And, I'm on my father's boat with an American flag, living my
There it is.
life.
I see the American flag. So. And this is a pontoon boat. So this is for fishing and pulling things, apparently.
Less pulling things, definitely for fishing. It's mostly for drinking in and driving around with.
That's about right. You're allowed to do that on a lake? Is that true?
You would think that these things would be a bad mix, but everyone does it, and it's not illegal.
Yeah.
Although right now I don't have a driver, so.
Right. Okay.
I am my own captain. That's definitely what's going on here.
Excellent. I'm also impressed with the video quality and the sound quality of that place.
We've definitely had worse luck in actual buildings owned by Dominicans.
Yeah. You're doing great. Okay. All right. America, so yeah, it is America. 250th. It makes sense for you to be doing this sort of thing. Yeah. So all right. So the topic tonight is boats and boating, which is a reprise of one of our favorite episodes. This episode was aired two summers ago or 3 summers ago. Who knows? It was hated by Father Gregory, and he tried to kibosh the thing, but we decided to do it. And I think there are some committed voters on this about what the correct answer is about boating, because when we did that episode, it was between sailboats and motorboats, and I compared sailboats to the Blessed Virgin Mary and motorboats to Satan. Yeah. And that seems like an analogy that continues to hold for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you come around to any of this, or are you still enjoying this life with the boat here?
You still can't ski behind a sailboat, so.
That's exactly right.
Which I also did this week on the lake.
Wow. Okay.
Got up the first try like a pro.
Wow.
Even though I hadn't skied since last year, just saying.
There you go. Is this so water skiing is a yearly event for you?
Oh yeah.
I have to say,
you got to clear it all out. Discover those muscles in your back that you never feel otherwise.
Yeah. Next morning is probably really difficult.
Like that.
Yeah. Next morning is really difficult. I have to say, I didn't get out on a boat this summer.
At all?
I usually do. It looks like it's going to be the fall. But I didn't make it. Our family was out in Portland, Oregon, celebrating a reunion thing, so we didn't go down to my folks' place in Virginia, where my dad has a J24. For those of you who know, a J24 is one of the most superior boats. It's a great racing boat. So it's one of the best class ones. But he has that. I grew up racing on that. So I didn't get to go out on the J24. He also has a Typhoon, which is a fine boat too. Didn't get to do that this time. And I miss that because I do. It is nice to get out the waves in the water and to be out in the middle of the lake, or in that case, the river.
I think one of the things that I like about boating, be it a motorboat or a sailboat, is that I find being on the water so contemplative. This is probably the most peaceful episode of Godsplaining I've ever done. I'm just out here being rocked
I have to say it's pretty.
waves.
Yeah, you look pretty good. I think it's because there's not as much around now. Obviously, this is definitely true for sailing, but with motorboats, I mean, there are a lot of them around. It's not very contemplative. We talked about this, but like there is on the water itself. Because you're distant from everything. There's not the land. There's less bugs out there. That's for sure. I mean, birds are not making their noises, except for like ospreys on certain nests and stuff. But if you're out in the middle of a lake or something, or if you're just in water, there is a sort of quietude. Although you have to be careful because of how sound works. It travels over water very easily. I remember I was with my father.
Everyone is listening to this episode, whether or not they want to right now.
Yeah, I remember I was kayaking with my father, and we were doing it's called cove critiquing. Because my parents have a place on a cove, and you go to different coves and you kind of critique houses and such. And I remember I was just being a little bit too loud. As it turned out, because the guy whose house I was critiquing goes, "We can hear you."
Yeah, that's a classic.
Which I thought was cool. That was nice of him, So to say that.
Or the ever-present reality of boating in any form, which is that there are also extremely frustrating parts. It's certainly a very peaceful venture to be out on a nice day, but when the boat isn't running well, which does happen on occasion in motorboats, or you lose the wind, which happens all the time when you're sailing. That could be the occasion for words that you would say very loudly that would be carried over the water that you might regret.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
To confess later.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing. I mean, the thing with the motorboat, at least, is as long as you don't run out of gas or something, you can always avoid scorchingness on the water. Whereas with the sailboat, you can get. I mean, everyone who sailed, I suppose, has this experience where you get caught out, the wind just dies, and you're out, and you're just baking. On the water. And as everyone knows, on the water, you get hit by both sides. So the sun's coming down and it also hits, reflects back up through the water on different angles. So you just get roasted. So coming home after water, even if you're just sailing or something, it's exhausted. I'm just exhausted because you've been beat up around for a while with the sun. But then if there's no wind, you're just stuck out there sitting, and there's nowhere to go. There's nothing you can do. So you just have to either be dragged in by somebody or wait for some wind to come up. Or sometimes you have a little tiny motor that you can, turn your boat into, make a deal with Satan and turn it into a motorboat. So
you didn't make it out to a boat this summer, but did you make it out to water? Like you at least got the restful.
Yeah, I was up by the ocean. Yeah,
renewal of being near a body of water.
Oh yeah, I was by the ocean, so we got a Pacific, which is a great. That's a different kind of peaceful. It's a restfulness. It's Pacific, of course. But even though there are always waves going on, but they're kind of rhythmic. Sometimes there's sea beasts. We saw some whales, which is cool, gray whales. Nice. But there is something nice about the
monsters God made there to play with.
Yep. And then I'll never go deep. I went deep sea fishing one time when I was younger, and I grew up on the water, no problem with big waves and this kind of thing. But there's something about the ocean, or the Pacific Ocean at least. We were out there for like an hour and a half or something. That was maybe 12 or 13. And then it just kind of came over me and others, and you're just like yakking for the rest of the time. And seasickness is one of the worst feelings because you're on the water, and the reason that you're sick is also the thing you're not going to get away from. I suppose it's like being in an earthquake. Those experiences are weird where everything around you is just kind of like shaking and you have nothing. There's nowhere to go. It's not like, let me get out of the storm. It's like,
has that ever happened to you before?
Earthquake?
No. Seasickness.
Oh, seasickness? No, it's the only time. I've only had it once. Yeah. But we caught just tons of fish, and it was just, they were out there for the catching. It was great. But then every time you draw one in, you just yacked on it. So like it was like we could get more fish, and we're like, I don't think it's not any left in me. So we drew back at some point, but that was, I took the Dramamine too, and did the little like things on the wrist and all that. I don't know. That's great. That was weird. Maybe I'll do it again at some point to try it out to see if that was just a one-off, but that was such a bad feeling. Like being seasick is just, it's like food poisoning, where you're not interested in what's about to happen. You're just kind of,
ready to die.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. There's very few times where I'm like, you know what? maybe not so bad, and that's like deep food poisoning issues, which I only get once every 15 years or so. Yeah. Okay.
Did you have any other arguments about our thesis other than it was awesome and we love this episode and we love the fun? If you haven't listened to the episode, maybe don't listen to it. I don't know if it's actually as good as we think it is, but the main point is we thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was really fun. It's a summer episode, Summer's we're ending here summer. I think August is the Sunday of the summer, So June is the Friday where anything goes. July is Saturday. That's like earn your keep. You got to make sure you're doing good. In August, you're like, oh no, Monday's coming. It's like the Sunday of the summer. So we're still in summer, and it's Labor Day's late this year, but it's already over for me as far as I can tell. There's just so much stuff to do. But here we are. Yeah.
Are the Student Brothers back in DC yet?
They are. They are back. Yep. We're on retreat.
Doing all the
and
things.
Then and then the vows on the 15th. So coming up this weekend, and then new fellows arrive a couple days later, and we're good to go.
Boom, rocking and rolling. Well, what do you say we jump in here to the?
Let's jump some questions. It's gonna be on the same theme, probably.
Rock it up a bit. Boats and boating. Late summer episode. Carol the pilot says hello. Hello, Carol.
Flying. Oh my gosh, flights and flying.
We should do a flights and flying episode. If Father Joseph Anthony has to be on that. For friends who don't know, Carol the pilot, friend of the podcast, retired this week. And I flew back, well, I guess it was last week now. I flew back from Rome to Philadelphia with Carol on her last flight, and it was amazing. I got to tour her aircraft. She did a great job flying. We all made it from point A to point B.
What kind of plane was it?
The Boeing. She flies one of the big 787s.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, it's a beefy. She'll jump in with all kinds of specs. Carol, tell them more about your plane in the chat. Just so I don't get it wrong.
Well, I have my cousin's husband. One of my cousin's husbands is a Boeing engineer, and he sells the planes to different countries, and he knows them really well. I think he's a 737 guy, and so he. Whenever I'm flying Boeings, I'm always excited because it's like, I know it's fine. These are great planes. Yeah. Okay.
We had a great ride, and then the thing that I was really excited about was that Carol got a water cannon salute when we landed in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They pull the fire engines out and launch the water up in the arc, and the plane flies through it. She described it over the PA in her announcement as like it was going through a car wash. I would say it was infinitely cooler because they're flashing lights, and you're on a runway, and you're not in a car; you're in an airplane. So,
wow, that is pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It was a great flight.
Congrats to Carol the pilot.
Okay, some Patreon questions about boats and boating. Hilariously enough, so many time. Which boat type offers the best stewardship of the Lord's gifts?
Ooh.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, probably sailing, right? Because there's less gasoline spilling everywhere, less destruction of local environments through noise pollution, less anger of other people because of giant waves that seem unnecessary for other people trying to enjoy the water.
Yeah, but you need all those custom-made parts that are available only at exclusive marinas that are impossible to order, and then all that stuff has to get shipped out to you. I think a canoe is the answer here.
Between I thought it was motorboat, sailboat. Oh, yeah, definitely a canoe. Yeah, definitely a canoe. But no one's gonna do that.
If motorboat, sailboat, then I think I would go with pontoon actually, because more people can enjoy it. You could put loads of people on a pontoon boat.
Yeah, but then they're going to be throwing out plastic solo cups and all that. So that's going to
be that is what one does with a pontoon boat.
Yeah, that's just calling for it. Sailing, you're not sailing, you have a beer at the end maybe, but you're not, you got some Lat Blue or whatever, but you're not going to be doing plastic solo cup experience during the race or when you're going around. It's too hard.
Put a grill on the back. This one doesn't.
My father had a boat that had a grill on the back. An old San Juan 24. Yeah.
Jackass. Father says, an engineer in the marine industry. This is a great episode. Fantastic. Thank you, Jack. We're sorry. We also love that. Some have suggested that there's an analogous experience to abandonment in a sailboat, being moved without taking hold of power for yourself.
Yeah,
this is true, But when you sail on a large cargo vessel through an open ocean, you experience just how small you are nonetheless in the waves. Weather, mechanical issues, market forces, isolation, etc. I think there's something to be said for how even if we try to fix our own destiny, say with a large engine and big rudder, we are nonetheless reliant on the mercy of the good Lord. Also, please pray for seafarers. God bless.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a win for sailboats. But nonetheless, just big boats in general. And and being on the water in general is putting yourself in the Lord's hands, I suppose. This is biblical imageries come from this, right? It adds a new perspective to like the fact that Peter is walking on water and then falling in, and Jesus walking on water, as opposed to like floating. Like it's not the same thing that they saw Jesus floating on the ground and wandering around Nazareth, and Peter said, "Lord, help me to float too." Like you could imagine that miracle happening with just floating instead of like floating on water, but the sea is different. It's not like a weird David Blaine miracle that is the issue here. It's over the power of a storm and the kind of surging and the deeps that have mysterious things in it. So there's a sort of conquering of fear of these things and the evil of the sea, the great abyss kind of stuff that it wouldn't have if it was just like, Lord, help me, get me to float too, right? So he's right about the kind of the churning and the abyss quality, the kind of semi-evil. I mean, you got some Kraken down there, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right, and I think that amplifies even more. We could save this for rockets and rocketing, but that's amplified. That's amplified in space because of just how far beyond space travel is. I was thinking of that during the recent launch, which was super exciting. I was jazzed to watch the whole thing. Later, I did not stay up for it because I was in Rome. I watched it delayed, but that sense of smallness, totally agree. The only thing that I would add, that I would suggest, is that I think it's interesting that even with a motorboat and with a sailboat, you have to go with nature. You can't actually so one person, in arguing for the superiority of sailboats, tried to position motorboats as being totally autonomous Satan machines, but they're not, because even a motorboat has to go with the waves. But if you try and
it does not. It can go against the waves. I've seen it happen.
If you try and cross the waves at the wrong point, well, it's not that it can't, but
so it doesn't have to
cross it the wrong way, you will have an uncomfortable experience. So my point is, boating is best when you're still harmonious with nature.
Right.
Let's say you're.
But once you get on the harmonious aspect, though, slippery slope, man, you're going to get a boat sail at some point. Yeah. Seafarers, though, Saint Peter Gonzalez, I think, a Dominican saint, or Saint Tilma, sometimes known as.
Yep.
Is one of the patron saints of sailors. I don't know who the other one is, though, or who the other ones are.
It's not Jordan.
Raymond of Capua, probably, right?
Yeah, maybe. It's not Jordan of Saxony, who drowned off the shore of Acre.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I was thinking about when I was there overlooking that port in Israel 2 years ago. It's like, Raymond.
Yeah.
Jordan of Saxony drowned here. Okay. Next up. Anything else to say about that?
No.
Very good. Tristan S. says, does God want us to surrender to his winds like a sailboat? Or does he give us a motor and a rudder so we are empowered to reach the destination?
No, that's nice.
Well, because it's a bit of both in the spiritual life. That's probably true.
Well, that's true. And here's the thing, though. I was thinking, now I'm in trouble. The sailboat is obviously a Dominican sort of mode of transportation, and the motorboat is more Jesuit transportation style, right? In terms of the life of grace and such. Insofar as the sailboat is, his classic image with it gives the Holy Spirit, and the as the sail is catching the wind of the Spirit, and the gifts being this sort of thing. So this is common in Dominican lore, but also in the sense of that you're dependent upon the action of the other. So it's always dependent upon physical pre-motion, you could call this in a way, so that God is always the one that's acting. So even when you're sailing, you're only sailing insofar as there's another actor there. Now, I suppose we could play like divine concursus and say like God's also acting and you're acting together and you're just doing two different parts. But the traditional image is in the grace controversy in the 1600s. between the Jesuits and Dominicans is the Dominicans are the sailing kind of thing, and the Jesuits are the rowers. So God and you are like rowing together, so you're cooperating. Whereas like sailing, you're not really cooperating with the wind in the same way. It's not like you're sharing two parts. It's like you're taking advantage of the wind. So I'm thinking that the sailboat is the more Dominican thing,
Right.
which inclines me again to think the Dominican should side for this. But I tend to be a kind of on the will stuff. I'm more on the Jesuit.
I know you're
side
more
of things.
Jesuitical, so this is ironic.
So the motorboat industry, maybe the motorboat because that's like not even Jesuitical.
Well, try this. This is a little bit less oppositional. Okay. I think you'll be curious about this. You might be able to take it further. But when I looked at this question earlier, what I was thinking is that the sailing is like contemplation, and driving a motorboat is like handing on the fruits of things contemplated.
Mm-hmm.
And that you need both to enjoy well the water.
Yeah. Is it more like contemplating and then destroying the fruits of contemplation, though? Yeah, but I know that's nice. You could have that. You could do a cool thing on the active, the contemplative life. Like that would be interesting, right? So
that's what I think is under.
Yeah,
because like sailing, you're just sitting around on the boat. You're sort of like pulling down a rope a little bit. But when you're on a motorboat, you can water ski.
This man who's never sailed, apparently.
You can water ski. You can use a wakeboard.
Have you ever sailed, by the way?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I'm not any good at it.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff to do. But I'm just
yeah.
I'm just pointing
I got
out.
you. I got you. I like
I have visual element that goes along.
No, I like the contemplative and the active kind of Martha Mary thing. So Mary's on a sailboat, Martha's on the motorboat, kind of thing. Is there a better name for a motorboat? See, motorboat just reeks of awful sounding stuff. Is there another way you could call? Is there another term? Like there's a car and there's an auto, and an auto sounds more like.
I mean, I would argue straight up for a ski boat.
Ski boat. Okay. So that's distinct. So it's like a sailboat versus a ski boat. Okay.
Yeah, no, you want something with an inboard motor so that you can do sports off the back of it. Like,
okay, and that might be a ski boat.
The prop. You want a stern drive prop. You want it up a couple feet off the back of the boat so you get that low wake. Don't want it too far.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. All right. I like contemplative activity.
Kitty dog lady. So what you're saying is I need to go back and take another Greek island cruise, but this time bring my Dominican friar. Got it.
Okay, there it is.
Nice. Perfect.
Oh, I'm playing with this. Okay.
We call it BYO friar travel. Nice.
Bring your own friar trip. There we go. Ooh,
Amelia says, as much of an adrenaline junkie as I am, as much as I love speedboats, speedboat, that could be another one. It's a good synonym for you. I feel sailboats are more representative of the Christian life. Surrendering to the Lord's plan, surrendering to the wind. But where do jet skis fit into all of this? Because those are the most fun and chaotic. Could you say that motorboats or speedboats, if you
here we go,
Bonaventure, are more Molinistic and sailboats are more Thomistic? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, we just did that a little bit, I think.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the will stuff, I suppose. And then
she's right there with us.
Let's see, what is it? What's jet skis? Oh man, jet skis. I think
we
both agree.
So I hate jet skis. Have you ever?
Yeah, I think we both agree on these.
That's a Satan boat.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a traditional wave runner, like a true wave runner, that you stand up behind?
No.
Those are actually really hard. 3 or 4 summers ago, I tried my cousin's. My cousin Grant has one. I could like barely get up on the thing.
Did Father Dominic Werner rip his like
that was a skiing accident that was his fault here. Yeah.
But it was a water skiing accident, right?
Yeah.
Like he just tore the ACL in half or something or whatever.
Yeah, broke his ankle. Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It happens. Sailing you get damaged too. Okay. All
right. Taylor says, yes, what about pontoons? Is the Christian who's perhaps too comfortable leans more towards self-reliance, does not pursue wisdom, a deeper Christian life. Oh, that's interesting. Pontoons can be dangerous.
Pontoon boat,
you're just a little too comfortable, a little too party. What's the difference
between that and that's your thing, right? Right now,
that's what I'm on right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're party barge. Okay.
One of these.
Yep, I see it.
Things here. There's actually
look at that
down there. I just realized that.
Hey, look at those. Are those Chex Mix?
It's popcorn.
Okay.
Kettle corn, Indiana, baby.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, that's probably right. Like if you're one of my mother's constant battles with the pontoon boat is she doesn't have cup holders exactly where she wants them.
Yeah.
So she's got portable cup holders that are floating around in the back somewhere. Amelia, kayaks and paddleboards, I want to say they're more optimistic because they rely so much on the water. Yeah, no, see, that's
more natural.
Point. That's a good point because you don't even have the sail trying to conquer. Like the sail is trying to harness the winds.
Well, you might think that it's
the way the winds go.
Yeah,
and so a kayak or a paddleboard, you've got something even more neutral.
Yeah, but in that way though, you get to do it. You get to go anywhere you want. So you could think it's more autonomous, right? Because it's just you your total self-driving. Like I'm not even going to ask for help, God. I'm just gonna take a piece of wood here and just go for it, or plastic or whatever it is. So I don't know. I'm thinking actually that's the most like autonomous of all the boats.
Sorry, I got distracted by the speedboat behind me.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. That's great. You're gonna move around a little bit in a bit.
Just keep that going. Okay. Here we got another one. Kayaks have to be an example of atheists, in that they're often used to work against the surroundings, analogous with the denial of a larger force working with one's life. Interesting.
We kind of thought about. We just kind of broached this topic. Yeah.
Also, what about ferries? Church transporting
ferries.
Converts. Interesting. Tugboats. Exorcists guiding lost souls. Love it.
Yep.
Sidebar, if you'd like ferries, check out the Seattle ferry system. Super fascinating.
The ferries are pretty cool.
When was the last time you took a ferry?
I was going to a funeral, I think, when I was a professor. When I was teaching at PC, Providence College, and we had to take a ferry to get to an island. So you drive the boat on, drive the car on, go on the ferry, drive the car off. Yeah, it was. I think that's the last time. Although there's something else that.
Have you because you're not a New York man. You haven't been up there. I took the Staten Island ferry this summer in June.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Maybe I've been on that more recent. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think it's been a while since I've been on a ferry. But I do kind of like them. Oh, nope. Sorry, this is wrong. I visited a couple 2 years ago. I think I did Easter out on a small island called Tarleton. And there's 40 people on that island. So I wouldn't even say it's a ferry. I'd say it's like a tugboat. It's out in the Smith Island. So if you've heard Smith Island Cakes, it's off Maryland coast.
Oh, okay.
It's a little island that has its own dialect. There are 40 people. I kid you not, like 40 people on this island.
Awesome.
And they have really cool slang. So they have a reverse slang. So if you see a baby, you go, "Oh, what an ugly baby," and that means a beautiful baby. So it's really, they've got their own kind of dialect. Yeah, the island goes underwater for a lot of the time. So like you're just walking around, there's fish in your yard.
Only 40 people live there.
It's a sort of magical
place. Not giving it to sell.
No, I wouldn't recommend it in some ways. I have friends out there, but like it's a sort of magical place. Yeah, but in a sort of interesting way. Yeah. That's I've been on ferries for that.
I like that. Amelia's got a rejoinder here. Great point. You could look at it this way too. Kayaks really got to be knocked over to submerge. Then you're thrown into the water, complete surrender to the current. Your pedal means nothing at this point. Atheists have to be really hit hard to convert. Then they're thrown into a whirlwind of surrender, navigation, and understanding of God in all his glory. Scary or not.
All right. Yeah.
All right, I like that. Let's pop down. Let's see who's saying hello. We got some chatter down here. On the boat.
On your boat. Yeah, that's right.
I like how you had 9 legs before you with the shades. Oh yeah. I mean, come on. Spinning in circles. Yeah, basically because the anchor,
Yeah.
Just kind of rolling on you. 9 legs before you started talking. So good. Pontoons. Where's the Wi-Fi router? Up there somewhere. I mean, who knows?
Starlink.
Yeah. Danny says, when I was 16, I took the small boat sailing merit badge in Boy Scouts. Awesome. I used to teach that merit badge. We learned that the boom of the sail was called that because it could hit you in the head hard.
Yep. Yeah, it really does. You have still smelling salts on the boat in case you get knocked out by them. Yeah.
Long story short, I got boomed and now I don't remember how to sail.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah.
Nice. Lake Pepin. Oh, hey up there. Another 6 weeks of summer.
I know, but you can feel it.
Theoretically, kind of.
Yeah.
In Rome, the weather changes on September 15th. I asked about this last year.
Cool.
And I was told,
Triumph Cross.
Yeah, exactly. I was told it's like someone turns the lights off, like someone just turns the AC on, actually. The whole place just cools down. And I thought, that's silly. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. And it was exactly that way.
Wow.
There was a little bit of what we would call an Indian summer, but, otherwise, basically winter. Roasted tomatoes.
Don't even know.
No clue. Canoeing is epic. We went on a canoe trip.
We did go on a canoe trip in Avisha, right?
That was very exciting. I still can't believe our novice master got in a canoe.
Yeah, that was pretty epic too. Dom Charbel.
Dom Charbel. Jet skiing is peak. No. Look. No, I'm sorry. You're just completely wrong about this.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not even a boat. You're not.
No. It's like a skateboard.
I don't want to be nasty and beat up on you here, but absolutely not.
Yeah.
Jet skiers are to lakes what snowboarders are to ski resorts.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's right. And snowboarders, everyone loves snowboarding, but it's a hateful practice. You shouldn't tell people you do it.
Awesome view. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, these are my very expensive $20 sunglasses. Itinerant preachers at sea. Let's do it. Does tubing behind a speedboat, there you go, Father Bonaventure, count as sailing? The tube is the raft and your body's like the sail.
It does not.
Tubing.
I've done it.
The worst of all water activities, I would say.
It's not up there, that's for sure.
It's better than jet skiing.
That's right. That seems right.
At least you're doing something.
Yeah. At least there's the boat involved. Like, the problem with jet skiing is there's no boat involved.
No, the worst thing that can happen to you when you're a skier is the lake is beautiful right now. Nobody's out here. I think after this, I'm going to go skiing. Anyway, the worst thing that can happen to you when you're a skier is you have an empty lake like this, something perfect, where it's just glass, absolutely beautiful. And there's one boat out tubing someone. Yeah. That's how we live in a fallen world. Father Bonaventure, have you ever thought that Father Gregory becoming your best friend was all part of his master plan just because St. Thomas Aquinas' best friend was also named Bonaventure?
Was it his best? Yeah, was his best friend? I don't know. He was friends with, he would pop in, there's great stories about him popping in on Bonaventure, and Bonaventure popping in him. He's usually popping in on Bonaventure, and Bonaventure's doing something, so don't disturb him, kind of thing. But there's great art for this with him hanging out the door, looking in. And Bonaventure's usually looking across or something, and Thomas is there, and he doesn't want to disturb his friend or something, because his friend's talking to another friend. So it is a delightful relationship that they have.
Here's another one you'll like. You'll have something to say. Makes me think of Our Lady of Good Voyage, Gloucester, Melville. Did I say that right? Gloucester. Yeah.
Our Lady of Good Voyage, huh? Well, Melville, obviously, speaking of atheism, right? Melville's Moby Dick is the response to Nathaniel Hawthorne. I was with the Hawthorne sisters this last week teaching philosophy. The Hawthorne sisters are in Hawthorne, New York. They are founded by Nathaniel Hawthorne's daughter, one of his daughters, Mother Alphonsa, Rose Hawthorne. And so Hawthorne wrote Scarlet Letter, Calvinist kind of track, nice sort of book. And then his friend, was Herman Melville, and Melville was not a Christian and didn't like the Scarlet Letter and didn't like Calvinism, and so he wrote Moby Dick in response. And so Moby Dick is written against Calvinism.
Is that right?
Yep, because the white whale is the void. It's not, it's the Calvinist God. That's nothing. And so it's one of the best books in American literature. If you've not read this book, you should read this book at some point. It's really epic. It's really, really good. It spends the first 70 pages. It takes a while to get started. It's worth it. But it spends 70 pages on cetology, study of whales, and it comes out on favor of the whales are fish. But basically halfway through the book, all of a sudden, I think we've done it. Have we not done an episode on this? I feel like we have.
I don't know that we have. We should definitely do The Old Man in the Sea.
My friend summarized that as damn hand, where's the boy? And that's probably right. Shout out to Scott Monty there. Never forget that. Never forget that.
I kept laughing. The more you were talking about Melville, I kept laughing because the meme, did I put in our chat, or I can't remember who did. When you know someone's not going to make it, right? That's what's written on the page. You know someone's not going to make it, and they have circled Ishmael. They call me Ishmael, and written next to it his name.
Right, there you go. There it is. I like that. Yeah, but that's a great. I'm sure we've done this. I'm sure we did Moby Dick. Yeah, Moby Dick is great though. It's really, really fantastic. Yeah, when Ahab steps on that deck.
So it's the it's the Calvin God, the Calvinist God. What else? Any other symbols from the book?
Well, so it's the fact that he's nothing. Like there is no God. It's just a blank. So the white whale, the whiteness is the blankness.
It's the blankness. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, they're just kind of so that Ahab has projected upon him all of this rage and such that he's got to deal with. But the whale doesn't care.
Completely fruitless pursuit. Yeah.
The whale is just the whale is the universe that supposedly is God in charge of things, but actually has nothing to do with it. And that's the tragic thing. It's a really great book.
Talitha Coon wants us to come boating in Miami. I'd come to Miami, but I'm not inclined to boat down there. Yeah, okay. Tristan, also, what is human dignity? I understand generally the term is used alongside our being made in the image of God. I hate to be angsty or skeptical sounding, but it frequently sounds like a catch-all to quickly say things are bad. Correct. What explanatory power does it have the couching things in terms of virtue and vice or human nature, etc.?
Yeah, this is a good question. So I do this. I don't know. I'm going to do this in the Kantian perspective because I think this is probably right. So I think human dignity is the intrinsic property that humans have. That means that they don't get weighed out in terms of how you respect them by any sort of utilitarian calculus, right? Every other thing in the universe, as far as I can tell, that's material, you get to do pros and cons with it, right? It just there's no absolute value to it. Human dignity is the positive of that represents the thing we represent. When we talk about how I don't get to treat humans as means, but merely as ends. So human dignity is what we tag the property of being an end in itself, such that I can never use you merely as a means, but only as an end in themselves. Whereas everything else in the universe is a means to something else, but you're not. Like you're not a means to anything else, except if we talk about like God. But it seems even weird to think of us as like a means to God. I mean, he uses instruments and such, but like, we're gonna be with him forever. So it's not like we get subordinated, but we get like sucked back into him. So yeah, whereas like toasters aren't, as far as I can tell. Toasters are here for us and are only good insofar as they're good for us, whereas humans are good in themselves. And they don't have to like. You don't have to. Dignity isn't earned. Your place. So Kant also does this difference between dignity and price. So there are no prices. You could say this way. There's no prices on humanity. Human dignity is the property of being priceless.
Yeah, that's very well said. I encountered this argument about means and ends in John Paul II, who you have absolutely convinced me to steal this off from Kant, in Love and Responsibility.
Yep.
The part of this question that I really sympathize with, though, is that people just bandy about this phrase human dignity, and they're not interested in further moral conversation, because human dignity means certain things that are derived from that point. So the fact that there are some actions which are always wrong in the moral life, it's never okay to take the life of an innocent human being, for example.
On purpose, yeah,
exactly. So there are the conclusions that are often avoided. There are conclusions that people aren't willing to talk about. They aren't willing to engage beyond that premises, and that's the part of the phrase that drives me crazy. So I do think that's correct, because even though human dignity is ultimate, you are always an end, not a means. There are then conclusions that we derive for how we ought to live from that. You would fuss with that language a little bit, but that's more or less.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's not a human dignity is not the property of anything that's human, is therefore dignified. Rather, it's a specific point about the absolute status of humans in moral calculation, moral relationships, that then you cash out with particularly human things. Yeah, that's right.
I just want to point out, I'm being trolled by my father here. I was there. He's suggesting maybe Father Dominic's accident was the fault of the driver. The driver was me. It was not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What would a Dominican wear while being pulled by a boat on skis? My family wants me to ski in my habit. The lake neighbors up here are very interested in this. I have not yet done it.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in drowning today.
Yeah.
Or any day. Yacht churches are going to be epic.
Maybe.
Father Patrick, can you give nothing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anti-nausea patches. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I've done that.
The habits come with built-in water wings. Now that would be sweet, because like we could get something going on up in here that would be a little
float it up,
hidden.
But you don't want to have in the water, which is a nightmare. So you're just kind of like blah.
Come to St. Patrick's in Philly. You know, we should work that out, because I know somebody on the podcast that would really like that idea.
You know, a cool day of recollection on American Saints would be cool, because there are two there.
Yeah, truly. With the feast day of St. Dominic lately passed, yes, I was wondering about how he does not seem to hold all the encompassing presence in the order that, say, Francis does for the Franciscans.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, it's
true. And that is a really interesting point. The question continues: what would you say the reasons for this are? Does it reflect anything unique about the character of the order?
Yeah. We just turned this into a 20-minute discussion, 30-minute discussion. Yeah, go for it.
I think the observation is absolutely true. Dominicans like St. Dominic, but very few people join the order out of Dominican fanboyism, Dominican fangirlism, the way that people do from Francis of Assisi. Part of that seems to be the personality of St. Dominic himself, who was a joyful but very devout Spaniard. So that has a particular mix to it. And part of the fact that this is part of the reason this is the case is because we don't have that much actually about St. Dominic. This is the point that Dominicans always make about him. We have testimony about what he was like from his canonization process, and it's basically it. We don't have his own writings, and we have a lot of writings, for example, from Francis of Assisi, from Ignatius Loyola, certainly by comparison. So I think the beautiful part is the point that I've heard made that I really like is that the order is so powerful and so strong in terms of its own spirituality, precisely because you could just join the order and do the Dominican thing. You don't have to be another Dominic. And the Dominican saints, that allows Dominican saints to be so different.
Yeah, I think that's right. He allows... I think he cared more about the order than he cared about himself. I get the sense, though, that his bequeathing, his gift, was not his particular personal holiness, which he did have extreme amounts of. He could go toe-to-toe with Francis. I bet they recognized each other in their holiness, although I'm not sure what Dominic would have entirely made of him. But that he gave his children, which is us, his order. So he gave us a place we could have and a particular rule. It's Augustine's rule, but his constitutions are his, and the fundamental constitutions, and the basic structure. These particular things that we know as Dominicans, which would be too, prosaic. It'd be too hard to go into right now, I suppose. But the Dominican life, there have been never, whereas Franciscans, there have been always separate branches, like breaking off because you're trying to get closer and closer to living a life like St. Francis, because you're supposed to be like Alter Christus kind of thing. Dominic really thought himself, I take it as he created an evangelical band of another group of disciples, but it's fascinating that even though the disciples gathered around him, he disperses them almost immediately. In the early history of the church, of the order, I should say, you have a similar experience of both Francis and Dominic. Francis disperses his brethren early, and they come back to him, and he won't and then they just stay together. Dominic immediately disperses his brethren once getting approved, and they never come back. And that's because I think he was trying to get them to live the gospel message in preaching that had to have an activity to it. And he wanted to give them himself as like more like the Holy Spirit or something, as like one who goes along with, he has that kind of Jedi, like, when I die, I'll be more powerful to you than when I was alive. Right. And I think that's true. He basically diffused himself and his personality in the structures and the practices of the life, such that whereas the Franciscans are always trying to get closer to Francis, and he's beautiful, he's wonderful to get close to, Dominicans, as long as you're a Dominican, you're always close to Dominic. Like you dwell in his heart because you dwell in the will of what he desired for the order. And he created a space for us to be, so that we would create space for others, so that we don't. I mean, I'm keen on this with formation, or at least I try to be myself. That like my job isn't to form other people like me. My job is to form Dominicans, and some Dominicans. I know people know Godsplaining, like, there's similarities between all of us, right? But there's also a lot of differences. But we're all part of the same family and the same order. So it's beautiful every time St. Dominic's feast rolls around to reflect on the gift that Holy Father Dominic gave us. That's unlike other religious founders, because in a sense he stepped away so that he could be more present. It's like God's transcendence, insofar as God's so transcendent, Thomas says in 1:8. He's also the most intimate. I think that Dominic has a similar kind of feel to that.
After that, whale vomit.
Exactly right. Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Braz, what's up?
Here's an
interesting one for the spiritual life. What does it look like to rely on the Lord? How could I rely on him more?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that can be said about this, because this is one of the basic principles of the spiritual life. So one thing that I would suggest, though, is that it looks like being happy in the present moment. And again, because I'm on the speedboat side, which is the Jesuit side, so I guess I'm going to say something Jesuit again, which is to embrace the practice of the presence of God in the sacrament of the moment, in your life as it is lived now. So I think a lot of people get stuck in the spiritual life because they live in the past or they live in the future, but your life is now.
Hold on, I got something for you.
Yeah.
I can make it.
It's going to be good. It's either proper or quote. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Hold on, I got something for you. Yep, here we go.
On this present moment, that's fantastic.
So this is Faustino's.
Oh, there it is.
Number 2 of the diary. Here it is. When I look into the future, I am frightened. But why plunge into the future? Only the present is precious to me. As for the future, may never enter my soul at all. It is no longer in my power to change or correct or add to the past, for neither sages nor prophets could do that. And so what the past has embraced, I must entrust to God. O present moment, you belong to me, whole and entire. I desire to use you as best I can, and although I am weak and small, you grant me the grace of your omnipotence. And so, trusting your mercy, I walk through life like a little child, offering you each day this heart, burning with love for your greater glory. You can tell she's Jesuit and trained there with the greater glory business kind of stuff and the present moment stuff. But that's, boom, St. Faustina.
That's it.
Yep.
Go fast, boat. Oh, yeah, that sounds like my nephews when they're tubing. They always want to go fast. Pax Christi omnibus. Where do people get sailing skills? I think it's divinely infused. This is part of the problem. It's like Augustine.
You got to know. Well, you got to know somebody. Yeah. You got to know a sailor. Yeah.
Does the Eastern Orthodox Church have all 4 marks of the Church? If so, how is that the case if they reject the papacy? And if not, why not? So
apostolic, technically, then that's their problem,
one
right?
Holy Catholic, apostolic. So in this sense, Catholic
too.
Catholic means not just big C Catholic. Catholic means universal, meaning the one Christian Church of Christ. Jet ski hate is so not slay. Ooh, how do we evangelize as Catholics? How do we become fishers of men, as Jesus said in Matthew's Gospel?
I think evangelists for Catholics. Go ahead.
I want to kick this back to this Sunday's Gospel, which is, I think a lot of people get miss one of the beautiful meanings of the Gospel, which is, so Jesus calls Peter to walk in the water. Peter starts to sink. He cries out, "Lord, save me." And then he's rebuked by Jesus, and people remember the walking on the water and the rebuke. Oh, you have little faith. you have little faith, right? But they don't remember Peter's prayer, which is, Lord, save me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that good evangelization is just sharing with people your love for Christ. And it doesn't have to be programmatic. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be particularly informed, actually.
Or
it's just, what does your friendship with him mean?
I think, and I think the Catholics, it was James Joyce in Dubliners says Catholic Church means here comes everybody. The evangelizing as a Catholic, it takes to me, one, it has like sacraments are involved in the church, like you're going to show them stuff, give them goods. But two, also is the kind of emphasis on this, the kind of brokenness and the kind of the stumbling forward of the journey of Catholics, like that, as you say, you can share just who you are and how you've been doing and how you want to do better. And because it doesn't all depend on you, but because it depends on the saints, you have them praying for you. You got Our Lady, you got sacraments. Like you can be who you are without having like a program and everything all settled together, but rather you can be unterwegs. So being a Catholic evangelizing, I suppose, is getting people to people who have stuff together, as opposed to telling someone what's all about and having it together.
Nice. I'm the door from the Titanic. Yes, that's so fantastic. There was room for two people on it. It's just so good. Okay. Loads of laughs. Paddle boats are non-denominational Protestants. Oh, there it is. Kayaks are Benedictines.
I hear now we're doing this. Now we're grouping. We need a chart. AI is going to come up. We need an image of this. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Religious orders as boats. Thinking about Jesus walking in the water, Peter looks at the storm instead of Jesus. He begins to sink and becomes afraid. Yeah, that's true. Eyes on Christ, right? That's the classic interpretation. Mm-hmm. Father, you've been on the Block Island.
I've been on the Block Island a number of times. Yep. I've been on the Block Island a number of times. Yeah,
I have not. I lived up there longer than you did, and I didn't get out there. Elaborate about what? Okay. An analogy I like is Christianity as a lifesaver device, not candy, rather than any sort of boat. Oh, that's interesting. One thing we were talking recently,
sacraments,
about, because we've been chatting about religious orders as different boats here, I guess. Father Bonaventure, you made a good point, is that sometimes in the church we get in our factions and we pretend that we can live in a lifeboat and that somehow we could be separated from the rest of the church. Like we don't have to worry about what's going on over there because it doesn't affect us. And the reality is that there is only one. There's only one boat.
Yeah, that's true. The ark. Yeah, it's just a big ark. You're all in the one boat. Yeah. Also think about the ripples and the effects that you affect other people. It's why in sail, in water, like in the ground, you can be doing something like playing sports or what have you, and it's not, just playing soccer here is not going to make a big effect over there. Whereas, with boating, with the motorboating kind of stuff, especially, like you're going to create wakes and things to other people, so your actions will affect others. You're sharing a space in a different way. I mean, it's true. Like if you want to have a picnic in the middle of a soccer field, then you're going to interact with people. But on the lake, at least, I'm not like intentionally joining the same space as other people are, but I am, because what they do will affect me. Will rise and fall together or related to each other. So that's another kind of interesting image that boating gives to the Christian life together with each other.
Are we Patrick O'Brian fans? You mean the best novel that's ever been written about male friendship?
Yeah, I've not read it. My mother and my brother. Yeah, I should read it. That's gonna be next on the list.
That would be a good episode too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic.
All right. Yeah, I should read it.
She's gonna report me for cyberbullying. I also snowboard.
Yeah.
I joined late. What's with the sunglasses? I'm on a boat, Aaron.
Yeah.
Boating. The sun. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Good.
There. Boom. Godsplaining cruise. I think the Godsplaining.
We didn't talk about cruising.
The Office episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Office episode of a cruise. That's about what would happen. Love the boatsplaining. Oh yeah. You'll like this.
Yeah, good. Could be. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that he wasn't in some fashion.
McCarthy was inspired by Melville with his character, the judge, in Blood Meridian.
Yeah, any American would have known. Maybe that's, could be.
More Godsplaining cruise requests. Truth Nuke. No. Okay, gotta be boring. This is for Debbie Downer. Plane-splaining next.
Planesplane, yeah.
If anybody can make
biplane or flying or jet plane, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Parachutes or jets. My vote, Godsplaining pilgrimage to Peru. Turns in there.
Some Lima people. We've got some good Dominican saints there.
Google funniest Canadian lake names. Perfect. Heresy during St. Dominic's time. He was a joyful person. Wow, I thought he'd be super serious.
He was super joyful. Yeah.
This is all the testimony from his life.
Yeah.
Is actually because we get the interpretation of St. Dominic as an inquisitor, which he was.
Yep.
That he was engaged in theological debate in the south of France, which he was. But people who knew him say that he always had an encouraging word, that he had an endless supply of edifying stories.
Yep.
That his face shone. That's Sister Cecilia's description.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't heard a siren. Oh, there's another boat behind me. I haven't heard a siren in a week.
Man, come to DC.
I'm hearing one right now.
I didn't even hear him anymore. Yeah.
Oh man, incredible. Hey. Oh, hallelujah. Boom. Solar eclipse tomorrow.
There we go.
Joyce Archive.
I haven't, but I should. Joyce
That
Archive. Okay. UB's. Yeah.
Right now is the first time I saw you, and I have no idea of what this is.
This is not a normal episode, Oscar, so carry on.
If you like whatever this is kind of our thing.
Yeah,
okay,
this is not a quite normal one. I guess you're correct.
Dominicans, right?
That might end it.
That's it. I think that's it. They're back. Woo, more sirens. Carthusians, one man vote. Everyone else.
Yeah, that's kind of Carthusians are kind of kayaking, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah,
that's probably it.
Yeah, I think it's legs for this religious imagery with the different boats for the different religious orders. I think that might be right. Yeah,
that's got legs. It's got wind.
It's got holes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Father Patrick, delightful.
Yeah,
see you in a couple days.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Say a prayer if you're willing. If you remember, for Father Bonaventure and I, we got the Godsplaining men's wilderness retreat where we lost in the woods in North Carolina for a bit. And then beyond that, we hope to see you all at the Rosary Pilgrimage coming up in September. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got too.
Boom.
Catch you next time. Cheers.
Catch you next time, friends. God bless.